FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's.
They just peed.
You might be wondering what we're reviewing today. For the wonderful return of the Peach Crisp scale. Just the Peach Crisp videos.
Woo! We're back, baby.
We're back.
Feels good.
Feels good. Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie. Daniel picked us up some Freddy Fazbear's pizza. We ate the whole thing.
It was delicious.
Tasted like vomit. It was awesome.
There were children in it.
Purple guy, the man behind the slaughter. Well, y'all know the deal. We're gonna give some scores, tally them up, give our average.
Before we do that, smash that like button.
Subscribe button.
There's a bell too. Hit that bell.
Post notifications on.
Add me on Snap.
First off, slight spoiler warning. In general for the video, I'm not gonna reveal any like major things. But spoiler warning. I'm a big FNAF fan. I played the first game when it came out. I've played all of them. I like some of my closest friends. We would get together, and we lived 2 hours apart. Jack. We'd get together, and Colton. We'd get together to play the FNAF games whenever they came out because they were just so fun and the lore was so cool. It's one of the big reasons I got into game theory. Sure, it's really lame sometimes. I wouldn't go around and tell people I'm a FNAF fan.
I mean, judging based off the people that showed up to the movie theater.
Yeah, there was some weirdos.
It's a little nerdy.
It's a little nerdy, but I'm a nerd. So,
yeah,
look at what is barely off frame over here. Maybe it's in frame. I don't remember. Anime. I love anime. But sometimes it's not the coolest thing to like. But I think that the lore is really good and the games are really fun and they're a little spooky sometimes. Some of my favorite memories with you involve playing the games.
Sure.
But all that to say, I'm a big FNAF fan, so I went in this movie knowing that I was probably going to like it, but I think I liked it a little bit more than I thought. And with this plot, I mean, it was just kind of the first game, but with some cool added stuff, because obviously if the movie was just 6 hours of CCTV footage, it would be really boring. It's just Josh Hutcherson sitting in a room, changing the cams and closing the doors every once in a while.
Bro? Can I talk? Dang!
My bad. I got excited. I'm sorry.
Okay, bro.
Anyway,
so you like FNAF? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm
That's
talking
awesome.
about the movie now. Calm down, bro.
Back in high school, I would have bullied kids like him, but that's.
I've changed now.
I'm not like that no more.
Yeah. All that to say, I mean, there wasn't much wrong with the plot. I thought it was it was pretty much all I was asking for with the FNAF movie, and the only thing that I didn't like about the plot was there wasn't really a scene where the power went out and I saw Freddy's face glowing with some
That would have been a nice touch.
So I gave the plot a 24 out of 25.
At first, I really was wondering how they're gonna do the doors in FNAF.
Yeah.
I was I looked at the door, I was that's the door. I was he's just gonna shut the door and lock it. Just Foxy can't get in no more.
It was just gonna combine FNAF 1 and FNAF 4. He was gonna run from the chair, close the door, listen for breathing, and then just run backwards. It was gonna be awesome.
That sounds sick. I liked the plot. I really liked everything revolving around Michael and
Mike Schmidt.
him. I had to think for his name. I keep wanting to say Josh for some reason. I'm on first name basis with him. Mike. I really liked everything revolving around him and his. I don't want to spoil anything. His family, basically, and I don't mean his aunt and any of that stuff. I mean the dreams he has and his
the dream scenes were really good.
All of that was really, really cool, and that was just kind of an idea I haven't seen before of even though it's terrifying going back into this terrifying situation because you want to like save someone, and I've seen that done, but not in like a dream like that. That was kind of, it was cool. I did not like the stuff with his aunt, stuff like that. I mean, it makes sense for like why he kept going back, but at the same time, they didn't really explain a whole lot why the aunt wants his sister so much.
They did.
I'm like, welfare checks?
Yeah.
To go through that much work to like
get money?
She looked loaded already, though. To be like, in
she's
real,
a hater.
And maybe she's just a professional hater. Overall, parts of the plot that I really, really liked. Other parts that were kind of nah. So overall, I gave plot a 14. First of all, I really liked Mike. He was really well done, and I really liked William Afton, the main villain. He was really well done as well. All the animatronics, they're not really characters, but
they should animatronics.
They should probably go on like FX, but they looked really good.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the way that they were done and behaved was really, really cool too. I didn't care for Mike's sister, whatever her name was.
Abby.
Not that much. I mean, to be fair, she wasn't really in the movie as a character, more just like as a motivation for another character. She wasn't really a character in herself. And like I said earlier, I didn't really care for the aunt that much. I didn't think she was super well done. But overall, the characters, there were characters that I liked a little bit, like Mike, William Afton, but then other characters that I just got on my nerves. And the main character that I have like the biggest complaint with is by far Vanessa. I'm sorry, she's hot, don't get me wrong. But Vanessa was, it was mostly the writing. The writing for her just, it was killing me. Like, which, I don't know what it was, man. Me and Levi were both sitting there in the theater like, this writing for her is not good. It was like, everything she said was just like, almost to fill in the people who don't know much about Five Nights at Freddy's. It's like, she was just kind of thrown in there as like...
That's what she was doing for Mike.
I mean, I know, but it's
I
like...
will talk about this
She
more
was just annoying. She was getting on my nerves, dude. Everything about... And it was really funny at that one part where, like, they were having so much fun, and then, like, she gets electrocuted, and then immediately Vanessa just goes straight to, I will shoot you if you ever bring her here again. I'm like, whoa. That was...
You know why, right?
No, I know, but it was like, it was such a jarring transition from, like, the cutesy scene right before, and then all of a sudden it's like...
I liked it.
No, it was... I just thought, like, oh, she's going to shoot him when he brings her back. Like, dang.
What'd you give characters?
Overall, I gave characters a 6 out of 15.
The only character I think that I just like really didn't care much about, I guess, would have been like the cannon fodder characters that are just there. So like this horror movie has some kills in it, which was like the group of teens. One of them did not deserve to die, I don't think. I mean, she was
out of nowhere.
She was trying to ruin Mike's life. To be fair,
her brother was kind of pushing for it. Like she didn't. Even
but it was like her brother was pushing for it. But she was the one actively doing the worst damage when the movie starts. She was the one digging. So
she was a mole.
She was the mole. But she had the best death in the movie by far.
Dude, that was sick.
It caught me off guard.
The movie had a lot more gruesome scenes than I would have thought, which I really liked.
Yeah, this movie was more gruesome than all the games were, besides maybe FNAF 4, because that's like the only one that has like the blood end card.
That's
you
true.
Die. But the other characters, like the aunt, I didn't like her, but because they didn't give her a lot of like screen time to be more of an antagonist, I knew that she was just going to be there to get killed, so I was kind of fine with her, and it made her death a little bit more satisfying than some of the other ones, so I was fine with her. And then I agreed with Vanessa at the start. I thought that she was kind of weird, like weirdly written, but then when I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to do. When you find out like why she is being so like discreet with what she's saying and like her motivations, it made a lot more sense to me. Like because she has reason to not tell Mike stuff, it makes sense why she like acts the way she does. And I personally really liked the scene where she said, "If you bring her back, I'll shoot you." Because like it was so...
No, it wasn't anything wrong with that. I just thought it was funny.
It was so serious, and it was like, oh dang, like she must like. That's the first time you realize like she knows what's going on. Kind of. She knows what's happening. Yeah. Like obviously she knew the background, but she knows what's happening.
Like she knows more than she lets on.
Yeah,
in the beginning.
which I really liked, and that's when you see like the big turning point from her, because before that you couldn't tell whose side she was on, but at that point she's like, I think I'm on his side here, and she had to be serious with him. So I really liked Vanessa. She was one of my favorite characters in the movie, and I also liked that she was in the movie because she wasn't in the games until Security Breach, so it was kind of cool to see her in this one. But I gave characters a 14 out of 15. Enjoyment. I will keep this as brief.
Did you enjoy this movie?
No. I'll keep it as brief as possible. Matt Pat was in the movie. Yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say.
25 out of 25 is what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. There wasn't a moment in this movie that I wasn't having the time of my life, because I was constantly on the lookout for Easter eggs. Cameos were fun. There were so many small details, like "It's me" was written on a mirror and then it disappeared the next scene, which I thought was really cool. There was just so much fun stuff. Like there was no time where I wasn't having a good time. And I think you mentioned it earlier, the theater experience was a lot of fun. Like people were like, oh my gosh, Matt Pat, Corey Kenshin.
Yeah,
and it was
the crowd
like,
was like very great.
It felt like a Marvel movie. Like the old school, like where
we're like,
because like I remember
Captain
going
America catches the hammer. I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
I had more reactions to Corey Kenshin being in this movie than I had to
Captain
America catching
honestly, I think it would.
And I saw that movie opening night with a packed theater. Yeah. Like when Corey Kenshin popped up on screen, everybody went crazy. It was when the taxi showed up because he was in the trailers.
Yeah.
And another big thing I just want to mention in enjoyment is, slight spoiler, not really, Golden Freddy is in the movie, and much like the games, he's not like really explained or anything. Like he's like the Ghost Kid is there prevalently. I think that's the right word. But like Golden Freddy shows up and they don't make any mention of it. Like he's there, he brings Abby to the restaurant and then just disappears. And then it's like,
we were talking about it earlier. I didn't realize it was Golden Freddy at first. It was like, it's like something for fans to notice. But if you don't notice it, it's like, oh, it's like you can easily explain it away as like, oh, that's just regular Freddy, basically.
And I love that
because you caught it because like you said he was missing an ear and Golden Freddy missing an ear.
Like
I thought it was just like weird lighting on Freddy.
And that's just so like true to the games. And as a fan of the games, I was having a blast the whole freaking time. 25 out of 25. Easy.
Very nice. Enjoyment for me, like you said, I think the theater experience added a ton to the movie. I know friends that saw it on Peacock instead because it came out same day, and I mean they enjoyed it still, but I think they would have loved it a whole lot more if they saw it in a theater. I also think that if you don't really or you don't know anything about the games, you're not going to enjoy the movie that much because
it was made for FNAF fans.
It really was just made for Five Nights at Freddy's fans. So if you haven't played, if you're just like a fan of horror movies,
don't go see this movie.
If you just like horror movies and people are saying that Five Nights at Freddy's movie's good and you're like, what's a horror movie? I'll go see it. You're probably gonna think it's like pretty mid overall.
If you
I love horror movies. In terms of if I was just going there to see a good horror movie, I'd think it's like it's not that good. In terms of a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, it's like as a fan of the game, it's like it had a lot of great references. It was fun, and the theater added a ton. So overall, I gave enjoyment 24 out of 25 because I am a fan of the games and I very much enjoyed it. Dub. Let's go.
Yeah.
The only really effects I can think of in the movie,
I think we're gonna say the same thing,
was the actual animatronics and the way they looked, and they looked amazing. They did them justice. Like every single one of them looks really good. Overall, I think I probably shouldn't say. I think one of them looks a little bit worse than the others. I don't think, is it a spoiler? I don't know. I'm not gonna risk it. But I think one of them is like not as freaky looking as the others, basically. I mean, none of them are really freaky looking until, they start trying to kill you. Which, I mean, the way they're able to go from, like, the animatronics being scary when they're chasing.
Them,
and then, like, they can also be cute and cuddly.
There's always a sense of unease when you see them. Because they're, like
when they're cute and cuddly, you're scared of them still. Because you're like, well, they could go back to the other way whenever. But they were designed amazingly. So I gave effects a 4 out of 5.
I ain't gonna harp on it. I agree. I thought all the animatronics and the suits that you saw in the movie looked really good. Honestly, they look. I don't know what they did in the trailers, but they look twice as good as they did in the trailers. I thought they looked good in the trailers. So like, I was really impressed. I thought they did the games justice with how they looked, especially Chica. Sorry, what just happened? I think the only, which is ironic because of what I just said, I think the only issue I had, like effects-wise, with the whole movie was the cupcake, because they couldn't find a way to get it to move.
How does it move?
That's what I'm saying.
I was thinking about that because like the lights would just go out every time it moved or whatever. It's
like they would change the
bounce?
camera like that. I think it was intentional because they probably originally had it where they showed it moving, but it looked stupid bouncing. And so okay, let's just make it where the
lights
camera,
go out.
like the cameras not on it when.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad, because I think it would have looked stupid if it was just like the cupcake bouncing.
I was still imagining.
But then when the cupcake did move, it was just like straight at the camera. And when at one scene it gets like zapped by a taser, I thought that was the only bad looking part of the movie. But overall, I think the cupcake was a little weird. Yeah, I gave effects a 4 out of 5 also.
5 Nights at Freddy's.
What do you think about the cinematography?
Cinematography. There were some like really good looking scenes. Dang it, this is what I meant to mention in enjoyment. And this, I guess, could go with cinematography. I guess, I don't know.
It's too late to say it. Keep it.
The opening credits and song are my favorite from any movie ever. Like, they did the game so much justice, and it was awesome. The song was really good. The opening credits have like Atari style, like the 8-bit style games from the mini games from the video games.
Said games like 5 times in that sentence.
Yeah.
What's up?
It has those, and it's like purple guy like kidnapping the children, and he's getting like progressively injured as it goes on. And I was like, this is just so cool. Like when that was going on, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna love this movie. But cinematography was oh yeah. Ooh, right. Taking notes.
He's dead.
There weren't any shots that just like blew my mind, but I thought there were some really good looking shots. Like when Abby's hiding in the ball pit, I like that part, and she's like looking at Foxy from the ball pit. I thought that was a pretty well done scene.
That was pretty cool.
And there was like, there weren't a whole bunch of like insanely well done shots, but there weren't any bad ones, I think. So I just gave it a 4.
I don't think at a single point in the movie I thought about the cinematography, which is good. That means they did what they're supposed to. Other than the in the ball pit scene, like you said, and I was like, oh, that's cool, I guess, which is a plus. I'm not sure if this would really be cinematography, but some of the editing at points was like a little weird, I guess, but nothing too bad. Cinematography, it was good because you didn't really think about it, never took away from the movie, so I gave it a 4 out of 5.
5 Nights at Freddy's.
Overall, the acting from the main characters was good. Mike did a good job. Vanessa's actor or actress did a pretty good job. It was just, like I said, the writing was kind of weird for her, so it was kind of hard to tell sometimes if it was her acting that made a scene weird or the writing for her. The only actor that I didn't like, and I hate saying this because they're little kids, but I didn't like his sister. I don't think she did a good job. At the same time, she's like 6, so like, I hate saying that because I always think about like Anakin or Luke Skywalker when he's a kid from the old movies and how he got like bullied like crazy because he.
His performance was significantly worse than this one.
This is true. Yeah.
To be fair,
the 6-year-old didn't blow me away. Like, I guess that's the way to say it. It's like, sorry to her. So I gave acting a 3 out of 5.
For me, I kind of fully agree. Josh Hutcherson did a great job. Matthew Lillard did the best in the movie. I think. I really like Matthew Lillard though, so maybe I'm a little biased. I thought some of the more minor characters, like they were, I feel like they were mostly unknown actors and actresses for the most part. Like
the fodder people?
Yeah, some of them. I didn't recognize any of them.
Yeah,
the aunt, I'm pretty sure was like
I've seen her in something.
She's like a bigger name actress, and she did a good job.
She killed it. Yeah.
She did a good job acting. So I think Vanessa did great. I think I already mentioned that though. The only one I had any issue with was Abby, and I also feel bad about that. I mean,
Yeah.
but some of the other Dream kids did a little bit better than her. I will say for Abby, when she was having to act like a kid, I think she killed it because she's a kid. Like when she was like hanging out with the animatronics and was excited, or when she was like being really silent, I thought she was fine. But when there were some scenes where she was like pouting, and I think it was obvious that she likes FNAF and she was way too happy to be on set.
That
because
might be
like
what it is.
even scenes when she was supposed to be sad, she had this like hint of a smile, and it was like I wouldn't blame
She's just
her.
happy she got the
If
job.
I was on set, I couldn't have acted. I would have been like,
Thinking about the kids that you talked about the other kids. You think about the other kids in the forest. That one blonde kid,
the one that is golden, Freddy.
that kid was freaky, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was with that kid.
He was scary.
Just the way.
So props to him.
This sounds so mean. He looks scared. That's not an insult. I mean, like,
No!
the way, like,
No!
I don't know, something about him. He's just like, he's so unnerving. I don't know.
I feel you.
If I saw that kid on the street, I'd smack him straight up.
But I gave acting a 4 out of 5.
5 Nights at Freddy's. Is this
I kind of knew this was going to happen, but since I'm such a big fan of the games, I was way too invested in the story and became way too invested in the characters. I am way too excited for the sequel, and
Have they announced a sequel?
yeah, it's already in pre-production.
Nice.
So yeah, attachment was a 10 for me. I really care.
I, on the other hand, do not care. I was attached to Mike and his sister, kind of just like, I was like, oh, I don't want them to get separated, I guess. Didn't really care about Vanessa. I really thought that her and Mike were going to get together, honestly, which
They're definitely going to.
they're going to for sure, but I was like, it's kind of not lore accurate, but
Well, that's what I like. They're
yeah.
changing some stuff,
I don't.
which I didn't want a carbon copy.
But
Because
that's
as I said,
kind
that
of
would
part of
literally-
why I had trouble getting attached, though, is because, like, I've played the games, whatever, it's like, Mike's not going to die. Like, Vanessa's not going to die here. Because I figured they were making small changes, but I was like, they're not going to kill a major character, like the main character. I don't know. I had trouble
wanna
getting attached to it
see-
for that, but the two I cared about were Mike and his sister. Even though, like I said, I didn't really like his sister that much. It was like, because she was just in the movie to be like the thing that Mike was trying to protect. So I was like, okay, I hope Mike can protect her because I like Mike. So that was about as far as my attachment went. So I gave it a 4 out of 10.
I want to see like Terminator Mike in the next movies. Like he just goes back and just starts
Tasing everything.
tasing everything.
5 Nights at Freddy's. Is this
I liked the finale. There wasn't really anything to like love about it. There wasn't anything to hate. It left room for a sequel. I did think it was kind of goofy that it makes sense when you think about the games because there's multiple. I don't know how once they've like escaped from Freddy's, the Abby says like can we go back or something like that? And I was expecting him to say like, heck no, or something like that. He was just like, no. What he said like, you never know what'll happen or something like. Why would you say that, dude? Like what? And that's not really finale. I was just like, I just thought that was like, why?
It pretty much was just saying
What
to the fans
normal-
like you're gonna get
No,
a second movie.
it was like really hinting at a second movie, but at the same time, I was thinking like, what normal functioning human being would ever say that ever?
just don't
Like, you
care?
just escaped from murder, and it's like, well, maybe we'll run into him again someday. It's like, what are you saying, dude?
I'm looking forward to it.
Till we meet again. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny. Overall, nothing crazy about the finale that I was like, oh my gosh, and nothing to dislike about it. So I just gave it a 5 out of 10. How do you feel about the finale?
I disagree with you. I loved it, unsurprisingly. Highlights including X character in the Springtrap suit just beating up Mike was hilarious to see. Like, because it's a guy in a suit and not an animatronic, he can actually like move around more freely.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing him like he like kicks Mike and he flies was hilarious to me.
It's just like a 360 in the air. I was like, oh my gosh, he's dead, dude. No shot he
Yeah,
survived.
I love that. I thought it was really fun. it is literally how it happens in the games. Like, the only difference is in the games, it's just the ghost, and in the movie, it's the animatronics. Like, it is the exact same thing, and the locations.
I mean, it's technically the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I love the ending. It set up a sequel, so I have no complaints. 10 out of 10, which brings my total to a 95.
Dang, bro, liked the movie. I gave it a solid 64.
Which made our average 79.5, so like an 80.
Good math.
8 out of 10 average.
8 out of 10. Pretty good. If you like Five Nights at Freddy's, you gotta watch this movie.
Watch the movie.
If you don't, if you're looking for a movie and you don't really know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's, you're gonna think it's really mid.
Just pass it up. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you're a FNAF fan, go see the movie. Go support it. We want sequels.
Yeah, I'll probably go watch it again. Not gonna lie.
I think I'm gonna go see it again because I just had so much fun.
I want to watch it on Peacock, but I really want the theater experience.
I want to watch it for like a lore rewatch. You know, like
fair, like looking for more stuff.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you saw the movie, plug it into the Peach Crisp scale and drop your review numbers in the comment section. I'm Peach.
I'm Crisp. That's what it is.
And you just got
Peach Crisp.